Scottie Barnes will make the Eastern Conference All-Star team this year.
Woo!
Hello, everybody. This is the Raptors NBA podcast. We're your hosts, Alex Drobin and Andy Redding, talking all things Raptors and NBA related. You might as well just unsubscribe from the rest of your Raptors podcasts now, because this is the only one you will need. The Raptors preseason is over. The Raptors went 4-0. Is that a sign of what's to come? Andy, what are your thoughts? Let's jump in.
They just don't lose. They just don't lose. New coach, Darko. The team is not lost under him. The vibes are immaculate right now. The new acquisitions look nice. Guys appear to be taking a step forward. I think we need to temper this a little bit. It's preseason. 4-0 in preseason.
Okay, here's my opinion. Our over-under right now is 36.5 games. Last year, we went 41-41. And here's the thing. What are the biggest changes? The biggest changes is we've gotten rid of Fred VanVleet. We've replaced him with Dennis Schröder. I think that is a good replacement, first of all. And then what's really the difference on the team? We have a full season of Jakob. How are we being so disrespected that we are 36.5, that whatever our odds are 36.5 wins in the Eastern Conference? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think we're going over for the season? What do you think?
You could argue, and I will argue, the Raptors, there's been a lot of Freddie slander since he left. A lot of, he was chucking, he was bad for the team, didn't vibe with Scottie. He was one of the Raptors' best players for years. Does it not make sense that you subtract one of your best players and your win total goes down 4.5?
Okay, there's some deep numbers you can look into that show that Freddie's percentages are absolutely horrendous in a lot of cases. Look, I'm a huge Freddie fan. You know this. I bought his jersey right away. It was one of the first jerseys that I purchased when they were all in the G League and were coming up. So I'm a Freddie fan. I'm just saying that, first of all, that contract that's a huge contract for him. And then replacing him with Dennis Schröder, a significantly lower number, after Dennis Schröder is coming off of an amazing performance this summer in the World Cup. Like, I don't think there's going to be much of a drop off, right? I think Scottie's going to have a great season. I think Jakob having a full season of Jakob, and we can go through the roster right now and just take a look at, what's going to happen. So we have OG. Hopefully OG stays healthy. Scottie Barnes, I think he's going to make an all-star team this year. We have Grady Dick, who's I don't know. What are your thoughts? So just for the listeners and the viewers, we actually went to NBA Summer League this year, and we saw Grady Dick in person, and he didn't look very good in Summer League. Maybe he had the jitters, but the guy's been hitting shots. He's been hitting shots in preseason. What are your thoughts on Grady Dick and the roster?
We just had to go. We just had to fly to Vegas to see Grady Dick. We had to see the sharpshooter in person. Everyone wants to say he's going to be the next great shooter in the league. He's had some preseason games where he's dropped like 5 points. I can't imagine he's going to be a huge NBA contributor off the hop. Maybe a couple years down, but to say he impacts the win total this year in a positive light, I'm struggling to see how that works.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. My opinion on Grady Dick. So, first of all, everyone likes to compare him to all the white shooters out there. So, no, literally, that's what it is. It's like, I've heard so many comparisons to Duncan Robinson. First of all, Duncan Robinson is amazing. If Grady Dick turns out to be like Duncan Robinson, I'll be happy with that. But
my doppelganger, Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, why? Because he's a white shooter? Is that what you're saying? No, my whole thing about Grady is that, first of all, he is like, he can put the ball on the floor. That's first of all. Once he gets a little bit more comfortable and puts some muscle on, I think he's going to be great going to the rim, and he'll be a contributor. You're right. I don't think he's going to make that much of an impact this year. But if you look at the rest of our team, like, I feel like everyone will be better. Right? We have Dennis at the point. I like that. I like him at the point. We have Scottie Barnes. What is he going to play this year?
Everything. He's positionless.
That's what I mean. So, like, is he running the point, bringing the ball up the court? Is he going to be a big? Like, what is he going to be? I'm still confused about that. OG is top 5 strongest men in the NBA. Would you agree? He's a
Top
monster.
5 strongest.
He's a monster. Yeah, he's like literally just powerful. He's a powerful dude. Okay, we have Precious. Is Precious starting? Like, do we know? Have we finalized our starting lineup? Pascal at the 4, Jakob at the 5. Is that it right there?
Yes.
So Dennis 1, Scottie, whatever, interchangeable. OG 3, Pascal 4, Jakob 5.
Yep.
Then so Gary. If my prediction's correct and Scottie Barnes is going to be in the Eastern Conference on the Eastern Conference All-Star team, right? Then you have obviously Pascal, who's a perennial All-Star. We have 2 All-Stars in the mix. We have a really good big man. Like, why is it so crazy to think that we are going to make the playoffs and make a push in the playoffs? What are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say it's set in stone that Scottie's going to become an all-star. If he does become an all-star, then yes, if he's an all-star, then yes, the Raptors are above 36.5 wins. The Raptors need him to take the step. If he doesn't take the step, it's going to be some dark times. We'll probably see some trades of Pascal gone. But we, as a Raptors fan base, we need Scottie to be an all-star. That's our eggs are in this basket right now.
Our eggs are in his basket. Our eggs are in Scottie's basket.
Scottie, you have our eggs.
Scottie, you have our eggs. That sounds super weird. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna go through the schedule for the first 10 games of the season.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get your thoughts on it, and I'll share my opinion. First of all, we are going to the first game this Wednesday against the home opener against the Timberwolves.
Exciting.
7:30 p.m. Sorry?
Exciting news, too, for us. We moved our season seats. Very exciting.
It's very exciting. We try to move them up slightly every year. We've had season tickets for the last 9 years. I don't know if I mentioned that in the intro, but we try to move up slightly every year, at least over the last few. Last year, we made a big mistake, and we moved from very close to one of the exits to the middle of a row, which is the dumbest thing you possibly do in any sort of arena, because then you have to literally walk past like 7-8 people to get to your seats, and it's horrible. But this year we've moved up and we're excited.
Very excited.
We're definitely going to do a video after that and put it up on our YouTube channel. By the way, for anybody who is listening to this, we would love your support. If you want to support the channel, we're just starting out, but if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on all the platforms, really, we're going to be on Spotify, on Apple Music, on everything like that. So all the podcasts, that would be incredible as well. But let's get back to this. So Raptors, Timberwolves on Wednesday. What's your prediction? Your favorite? We're going against your favorite player, Karl-Anthony Towns.
My prediction: we settle into these nice new seats of ours in section 309. We're going to make some new friends. We're get some new ride or dies. And we are going to watch the Raptors. I look at the Raptors and the T-Wolves as almost the same team. They're probably both going to finish with like 40 wins. Sure, I'll give the Raptors a win. What do you think?
I think the energy is going to be crazy. Like, I feel like there's a newfound energy. I'm not saying that, like, again, I love Freddie, but there was something wrong with the team last year. Obviously, new coach, Nick Nurse is out. It feels like there's a bit of a, like it's a bit of a refreshed vibe out here. And from everybody that I see people that are like actually excited for the season, whereas the last few years since we won the championship, we didn't really have that much excitement. So in my opinion, I think we're going to come out with a ton of energy, and home games are going to be tough for opponents, man. I think we're going to come out with a huge win on Wednesday against the Timberwolves, even though they have an amazing team. And it's low-key like one of my favorite teams to watch this year because of, obviously, Anthony Edwards and my boy Karl-Anthony Towns. We've been having this debate for the last 6 or 7 years, however long he's been in the league, but I think he's coming back strong this year. I think all of this Karl Anthony Towns slander is nonsense, and he's going to come out strong. Having said that, I think we're getting the W and moving on to the Bulls on Friday. The Bulls, very weird situation there. They have a bunch of guys coming back, but like I could see a world where we go, maybe 7-3 in these first 10 games. Bulls Friday. What are your thoughts?
I tell you, we are looking at this through different lenses right now.
What, you think we're gonna get killed?
I could see an 0-2 start. I could see this year the start being bad and it being similar to 9 years ago when Masai decided to start tanking. He's like, okay, we're trading Rudy Gay. We're refreshing here. We're starting the new process. And then maybe you luck into something like they did before. Maybe you find your new core. But
okay, so why don't we go back? Listen, everybody who's listening and watching, just keep in mind this is our first podcast back, so we're jumping kind of all over the place back and forth. But you don't have a good outlook on the season then. So that 36.5, are you thinking we go over those wins, or are you thinking we're under?
I think it's under. I think it's.
You think we're going to win less than 36.5 games?
Yes. Everyone, the lineup, the new acquisition, Dennis Schröder. Everyone's excited about him. He's a 10-year vet who has bounced around the league. People are very excited because he just won FIBA MVP. But I don't know. He's a journeyman. We're getting really excited about a journeyman as our starting point guard on the Raptors.
I mean, you can't argue that, but I just think the way he's been playing for the last little while, like his salary, he's making 12 a year right now.
The last 2 months over the summer, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, over the summer. Plus, like, he was good on the Lakers. He was really good on the Lakers last year too. He was. I think he fits well into a lot of teams. That's why he's a journeyman, like you said. But he fits into a lot of rosters. It's just strange because it doesn't seem like he's stuck it out too long, different places. But so you don't think our lineup is good enough to get 36.5 wins? But what's your why? Why do you think that? You're literally saying because we have a bunch of people that don't mix together, or what do you think?
The point guard got worse. Fred VanVleet is better than Dennis Schröder. I don't know how we argue. That's it's true. That's it. That's 5 losses right there.
But don't you think the rest of our roster has gotten better?
I think
you don't think Scottie's getting better? You don't think OG's getting better?
You think everyone's going to take a step forward? What if guys take a step back?
I think like if OG stays healthy, I think he's taking a step forward. Scottie's definitely taking a step forward. It's good that we actually have a set backup point guard now, Malachi Flynn. Again, I'm not sure about how he's going to do. I haven't been the biggest Malachi Flynn guy, but over the preseason,
here's a Malachi Flynn tidbit for you.
Yeah.
A take. This is my one area of optimism on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So Darko, he's beloved in Memphis as their assistant coach. Just beloved. Made a lot of people credit him with making Desmond Bane, someone out of a second-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying Malachi Flynn, little work with Darko, could become a dude. We could have a dude on our hands.
That might be your worst take of the day.
How is that a bad take?
Just because we have a new head coach, you think he's going to put all of his eggs into the Malachi Flynn basket, who's a backup point guard? I don't think that's his main priority. I think Malachi Flynn. Chance. No, I understand. I just think Malachi Flynn's been working super hard every year, and he's just getting better. Like his step backs are getting better. He's getting a little bit stronger. Like he's playing better defense. He's finishing at the rim a little bit more. So I don't know. I think he's a good backup point guard. I understand what you're saying though.
And Nick Nurse never gave him a chance. He was just stuck him to the end of the bench, never played him. Malachi's dad was pissed year after year, never getting court time. It's time to unlock Malachi.
Time to unlock Malachi. Pascal, he's going to do the same thing he does every year. He's going to put up close to 20 and 10. He's going to have a good season. Like I said, OG, I don't know. Like looking at the rest of the league, let's look at the rest of the Eastern Conference. So first of all, back to this. What are your predictions on, first of all, who do you think is going to win the Eastern Conference? Let's go there.
Are we gonna go with a chalk prediction, or do you want my under?
I want your chalk. I want a chalk prediction.
You know, I'm just gonna say my prediction, but I also think they're flying a little bit too under the radar.
Who?
The 76ers. I placed a wager on them yesterday. Their odds to win the NBA championship 18-1. This is a good team. They have the best player in the world.
Do you even watch the NBA anymore?
What? You don't watch it. They have the reigning MVP. They have. People will rip on him all he wants, but Nick Nurse is a good coach. He had a huge impact on the Raptors in his first year. Goes to a new team. He's got that first year bump.
Okay. What about the fact that James Harden is just not showing up to camp right now?
They're still a good team without him.
So, okay, James Harden basically put that team on his back for 3/4 of the season last year. People forget that he was really close. Yes, he was really close to an All-NBA selection last year and very close to an All-Star. Or
with the team on his back, the MVP would be. He's the most valuable player.
James Harden, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if you look at James Harden's stats from last year, here, let's look them up right now. So last year, James Harden he went 21 and 10.7 with 1.2 steals and 6 boards. The man averaged 21 and 10 assists with 6 boards. He literally put the team on his back. Anytime Joel was out, James was going hard. I feel like because of what's happening right now in his situation, people forget about how good of a season he had last year. He was close to making an All-Star team, and he was very close to making an All-NBA team. And he think about those numbers. The fact that he's gone, I think the Sixers have no chance of I'll bet you that they will get bounced potentially in the first round, second round exit for sure, especially with this turmoil that's going on over there. I'm actually glad you touched on this because though this whole thing is crazy with James Harden. He's going to push his way out of a third situation, right? Push his way out of Houston, push his way out of Brooklyn, and now he's pushing his way out of Philly. Having said that, you're still looking at an absolute all-star who literally averaged 20 and 10 last year. 20, 10, and 6. And you're
get something back for him.
And you're writing him off. You're writing him off.
I'm not writing him off. I think they're going to be really good this year. And they have some great odds on them to win a championship. They're still a really good team. 18-1 odds for a team with the best player in the world. That's nice.
There's a thing in his contract. I'm sure you know this, and maybe I'm butchering it, but he has to report within 30 days of the season starting. Otherwise, he loses a bunch of money in his contract. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but basically he has to report. Otherwise, he's just not going to get paid. So it's not similar to the Ben Simmons situation where he just held out and didn't come into work. James Harden, if he doesn't come into work, he's not getting paid at all. Anyways, look.
No, he'll come into work. He is the perfect picture of modern workforce today. He's going to silent quit. He's going to show up. He's going to be a little overweight probably. He's going to be partying. And he'll make them trade him.
I can't believe that you're thinking that they're going to be better without James Harden.
I didn't say that. Well,
you did say that. And
technically by winning, yes.
And my thing is this is insane because so last year he only played 58 games, but during those 58 games, like I said, his 10.7 assists, didn't that lead the league last year? I'm pretty sure he led the league in assists last year. I'm pretty sure. And he hasn't dropped off. If you look at his last 5 years, people are writing this guy off completely, but his last 5 years are literally 24 and 11 assists, 22 and 10 assists, 22.5 and 8 and 10.2 assists, 21 and 10.5 assists, 21 and 10.7 assists. James Harden was arguably a bigger reason why they went as far as they did. I know Joel Embiid got that MVP, but I think that was a pity MVP, truthfully. And Jokic should have won it. He did. No, all advanced stats indicated that Jokic or Giannis should have won that MVP last year. And also, here's the thing. I think that's, you know what? I take it back. That's your worst take. That's your worst take of the podcast so far, because now What if Joel feels like he's like done with the Sixers, which is quite possible. Think about how much nonsense that guy's had to go through, right? How many rebuilds? What was their whole
Like
the whole
one
thing?
process.
Yeah, like the process is still going on over there. Like
I don't know. It's not. They're a good team. They're a contender.
they are not a contender
And
without James Harden,
no,
not even close.
but James Harden leaves. Who steps up? Tyrese Maxey. They got dudes that can step up. Unlike the
Tyrese
Raptors.
Maxey, why is everyone so high on Tyrese Maxey?
He's nice.
He's 27 years old and he hasn't done anything once in the league. Like I'm confused with all this
He
Tyrese
destroyed the
Maxey.
Raptors in the
He's
playoffs 2 years ago.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's good. He's good. No disrespect to Tyrese Maxey, but I think like don't you think that he's a little bit like people are thinking slightly high on him? I don't know. I think if you're telling me that Tyrese Maxey is going to put up James Harden numbers, like
That's
that's
not what I'm
crazy.
saying. But
Well,
he's
that's
going
what
to
you're saying.
up.
You're saying if Tyrese Maxey steps up, if
Yes.
James Harden leaves, then you are saying that he's going to put up James Harden numbers, kind of. Are you not?
He's going to step up.
Anyways, all right. Moving on to the next topic.
No, hold on. We haven't.
No, I'm saying like I want to move on to a next team because we
Yes.
talked
Who
about.
do you think? Okay, so you're so down on the 76ers take. Who's your take? Eastern Conference. Who's winning it?
100% the Celtics are winning the Eastern Conference
100%.
championship. And I will I think Denver's going to win the championship again, but I think I think it'll be really tight between for sure that for 100% I think that the Celtics are making the finals and they're going to play Denver. Unless Porzingis gets super injured because I think they've added so many pieces and gotten rid of a couple of pieces that were a little bit stale as well. AKA Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's an amazing person. I've met that guy, but
where'd you meet him? Tell me a story.
No, I don't want to tell you a story. I met him at an establishment. That sounds like no. It was. Oh my god! No fire alarm.
I don't
know. Andy.
It's a sign. Your take is bad.
No. Anyways, I met him at a lounge. It was just like a club. But Marcus Smart leaving the team. Obviously, Drew Holiday's there. I think they have Derek White. Like they have an amazing team. Obviously, Jason Tatum's coming back. Jason Tatum is, I think, third. He's actually third or fourth for MVP odds this year. Who else? They have Jaylen Brown, obviously, and they have Porzingis. Like that's a really good team. Porzingis had some of his best numbers last year in Washington, and I think that if he literally stays healthy, they have a chance to be a really, really good team. And I don't see them not winning the Eastern Conference if they all stay somewhat healthy.
Okay, you just told me I had my worst take of the day in picking the 76ers. You just had your most boring take in years. You're just picking chalk favorites to make the NBA Finals.
I think it's like,
come on.
It's not a bad take. It's just a real take. Like, look at their roster. The roster's ridiculous, right? Like, what do you want me to pick somebody who I don't think is going to make the finals? Like you, just for a bad take with a team who's arguably, he's not their best player. Their second best player is not showing up to camp, and you're saying that they're going to win. They're going to win the Eastern Conference. Like that's crazy to me. For me, like Milwaukee is probably second in the East this year. They have Dame. Who knows how many games he's going to play? We don't need to talk about the Dame trade, but I think that that's a really good trade. If Chris Middleton gets back to his old self from 2 years ago prior to the injury, like that's a big three. Brook Lopez. I don't know. Like, I think that's the only team that can come close to the Celtics, but that'll be an amazing matchup, and I hope we get to see it. You know, but other than Milwaukee, like it's Boston or Milwaukee, I think.
Miami.
No, even though Jimmy Butler eats everyone's food during the playoffs,
they got some dogs.
Yeah, they got some dogs over there. I love Miami. That's like I don't know. That's a team that you just have to root for just based on their roster and like, just how they are. Kyle Lowry's on that team. He's one of our favorite players, I think, of all time. Greatest Raptor of all time, if I say so myself.
The GOAT. Yes, he is.
The GOAT. Okay. Do you want to keep on this, or should we move on to the next thing?
Let's move on to the next topic. I'm frustrated.
Next topic.
Andy's angry.
Who is winning the NBA championship?
We just talked about this. I told you.
No, you didn't tell me. Wait, you said the Phillies winning the championship?
Yeah, Philly is. Yeah.
That's perfect timing. Sorry, everybody who's listening. That's a fire alarm that's going off in my building right now. So we might have to end this pod early. But I thought you said that they're winning the Eastern Conference.
Well, yeah, on their way to winning the championship, yes.
So you think the Sixers are winning the NBA championship?
Do we not forget the impact Nick Nurse had on the Raptors in the first year? He wears
Andy,
on guys.
James Harden is not going to be on that team this year. They would have 20 less wins without James Harden.
20 less wins.
Yes. People like did you not watch James Harden on Philly last year? He was really good. Okay, all right. That's it. You're winning Philly's winning the championship. I can't even believe that's your take right now.
This is a well thought out. This is not an impulsive take. This is a calculated first degree take. Put me in take jail. I'm
telling you, we've been doing podcasts and talking basketball for like 7 years, and I'm telling you, this is your worst take that you've ever had.
I financially backed this too. I bet
you financially backed this take.
Yes.
I hope you didn't put too much money on it because that's horrible. I want to talk about the rookies. This is the last thing we'll touch on, and then we have to go, unfortunately. But whoever stayed up until this point, like, thank you so much for listening and watching, honestly. Because I know there will be a few people. What? Sorry?
And remember to unsubscribe from other podcasts.
Remember to unsubscribe from the other podcasts.
Right now.
Okay, so I like to say that this was my take, but it was not. It was Andy Redding's take. But now I don't know. But the take is that Chet Holmgren will be the rookie of the year over Victor Wembanyama. Prior to the preseason, I was like I was gonna bet that. Now after watching Wemby, I'm like, I don't know if that's a good bet because Wemby's just had an incredible preseason. Although Chet's had some amazing flashes as well. Did you see that two-handed block at the rim? Like literally, he just
yes. Oh yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that situation? Get into it.
When Chet and Wemby had their game in the preseason, all the hype was for Wemby because I believe it was his first game. Everyone was talking Wemby, but no one talks about how Chet had the better game. He was better all around, defensive, offensive. He was better. He was making more shots. He is nasty. He's had a year of sitting on the bench, getting older, getting a little thicker. He was a toothpick at Gonzaga. He is thicker now. He's got more of an NBA body. He's got the advantage of just being a year older. So I think that will impact him in winning Rookie of the Year.
Wow. So you're sticking with that take, Chet for Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely.
My thing with these super long, lanky, skinny guys is that, like, obviously they're more injury prone than everybody. I don't know if you saw those clips of Wemby stretching, but it seems like he's like the most flexible dude in the league. But I don't know. Like, I like your take. Because Wemby, like, Chet's been getting ready for this for a full year. Wemby hasn't experienced a full NBA season. And there's no way that he won't miss at least a few games based on some nagging stuff. That's just what happens to guys that are this size. But I love both of their games, man. I think Wemby's going to be incredible. Overall, I think Wemby's going to be a better player. You know what? No, I can't bet against Wemby winning Rookie of the Year.
You're going all chalk today. Just taking the favorites and everything.
I know.
Come on.
I know. I wish I stuck with that take, the Chet take, but Wemby is just like, did you see him put the ball through somebody's legs on a fast break?
Nutmegged him. It was nice. It was very nice.
He's just like nutmegging people, step back 3-pointers. Like, it seems like he is a generational talent. Like,
let's talk about their shot here quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Chet shot like 40% from 3 at Gonzaga. Wemby's shot is very overrated. He shot like under 30% from 3 in France. He's not a great shooter. That's not where he's going to kill guys. Maybe mid-range, but closer to the basket is where he will dominate.
No, I agree. And people think that just because of his like size and weight that he won't be a great defensive player, but I think that he's going to dominate on the defensive end. And that's another thing we're not talking about. Like, what are the odds for him winning defensive player of the year, or either of them winning defensive player of the year? Because both of them are going to have a huge impact on the defensive end as well. I don't know, man. That's a really good conversation. I love both of these rookies. I love that they're in the same conference. I love how they're going to battle each other. And OKC, by the way, OKC is an amazing team. So I think like overall, it'll be very difficult for Chet to win. This is another reason, because they have so many good players on their team, right?
Yeah.
But who's on Wemby's team right now? Let's take a look at the
Spurs
roster. Yeah.
He's gonna get the shots. Someone has to score on that team, and it's gonna be him.
That's what I mean.
Chet
right?
is gonna be like what, the third option, probably, maybe even fourth.
Okay, so OKC roster. All right, let's do depth chart actually. OKC depth chart. This is actually perfect because we have we have 2 NBA fantasy drafts coming up, so this is actually pretty good. OKC NBA depth chart. Okay, so their depth chart: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously at the point; Josh Giddey 2, Lou Dort 3, Jalen Williams 4, Chet 5. So it's like, I'm pretty sure Josh Giddey's going to get shots over Chet Holmgren as well. So he's probably did you say third option?
Yeah.
Yeah, so third option on that team. And then obviously Wemby's he's the first option on that team.
Yeah, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson,
Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama, Zach Collins. Zach Collins still kicking. Still kicking. But yeah, like he's the number one option on that team. He's going to put, how many shots do you think he's going to get? He's going to get what, 15, 20 shots a game? There's a possibility we could be living in a world where Victor Wembanyama averages like 30, 10, and 5 blocks, man.
In his rookie season?
Yeah. There is, man.
There you go. Finally, a little spice. Your take out of you. 30, 10, and 10?
30, 10, and no, I didn't say 30, 10, and 10. I said 30, 10, and 5 blocks.
Yeah.
5 blocks. But like obviously 5 blocks a game is so difficult. But didn't he had 4 blocks in the first like 8 minutes of a preseason game the other day.
You know who had more blocks per game in college than Wemby did in France? Chet Holmgren. Or it was close.
Well, I feel like it's a different.
Chet's a good defender too.
I think it's a different situation. I'm not sleeping on him. I'm not sleeping on him at all.
Did you see the Mavericks practicing for Wemby?
No.
They their coaches had like extendable arms that were like went
no way
11 feet in there, and they're just like whacking at guys as they were taking jump shots. Teams are scared of them. Teams are very scared of them.
I feel like people do that all the time anyways, but if it's specifically for Wemby, that'd be funny. The last thing I have for you, and then we'll wrap it up. What do you think of the Dallas Mavericks season? What do you think of Luka? Are we at a point where Luka is the next James Harden?
Stop it. He does no. First
on the Rockets. Somebody said that. I can't remember who said this first. I would like to give them credit. But are we at that point?
Is there any sign of Luka wanting to leave? What is our comparison here?
I'm just saying, like the way that he plays the game, the ball's in his hands like 117% of the time. You know,
is that a bad thing? He's extremely talented.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's exactly what James Harden on the Houston Rockets had. They made it. They got bumped by like they should have won at some point. They ran into the Golden State Warriors, the greatest team of all time, and James was putting up like 40, 20, and 10. Like, so I understand why he didn't win in that situation. But is Luka getting to that point where, you know, the ball's in his hands so much, but they're just not winning consistently? He has Kyrie. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
They just missed the playoffs, which was hard to believe. They'll probably finish with like they'll sneak into the playoffs. He's one of the best players in the world. Kyrie is good. They'll sneak in, right? They're like a 5 to
No.
8 seed.
I don't know. Here, let's see their Dallas Mavs over under. What is it for the year here?
I bet like 48.
No way, 48. I feel like it's like low 40s.
Can't be the low 40s with Luka.
It's regular season. I can't find this. Can you help me find this, please?
The Mavs are nice. Don't.
The Mavs, here's the thing. They're
Full
nice.
season, Kyrie and him, they'll be good.
Here's their depth chart, okay? Luka 1, Kyrie, well, Luka and Kyrie share those responsibilities. Josh Green 3, Grant Williams 4, which is a pretty good pickup. Derek Lively the second at the center. Then Dwight Powell is sitting for the year. Maxi Kleber is coming off the bench. Tim Hardaway Jr. is still on that team. Jaden Hardy is pretty good. Like, I don't know. What's their over under? Did you find it?
No, I'm looking for it now.
What? How come I can't find this? What's their line? So their line is NBA totals.
You're really sleeping on them, hey?
No, I honestly think that they're not very good. They're not good. Okay, so their over under is
43 and a half.
3.5, yeah. 43 and a half. That's a lot of wins.
Is it?
I think I'm going
just
under.
Over 500. Really?
I think I'm going under, yeah.
You think they're a 500 team?
I think they're a 500 team, especially with it's the same situation with Philly. Like, you never know what Kyrie's going to do. What if he just doesn't show up or something goes wrong? And like, we're betting on Kyrie having a full healthy season. If he does, that's the best backcourt in the league, right? Like, you can't. Who's better than that backcourt? Dallas or what's his name? Luka and Kyrie in a backcourt. That's the best backcourt in the league. I don't know who else you'd put that up against.
Stephen Clay is still pretty good with Chris Paul. That's pretty nice.
Probably not better than Kyrie and Luka. But I don't know. Was really nice last year. Man, we could talk about this literally all day.
All day. But we don't have all day.
Okay. All right. That's it. We'll wrap it up there. You're saying Dallas hard over?
Hard over. Yeah.
Actually, one last question. Who do you think is coming out of the West?
This is going to be a boring take for you. Finally, a chalk take. I'm the Nuggets. The Nuggets okay. Sixers final.
Okay, but it will be really interesting to see what happens with the Suns. Man, we could talk about the Suns for another half an hour. The Suns are going to be really good, just strictly offensively. But yeah, I think Denver's coming out as well. So it's going to be Denver. You're saying Philly. I'm saying Denver. Celtics. Denver wins the championship. You think Philly wins the championship?
I financially backed this.
Oh my God. I don't care if you financially back this.
I'll put my money where my mouth is.
Maybe if you had that take prior to James requesting out. For anybody that's watching or listening to this podcast, thank you so much once again. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and give us a follow on all the platforms, Spotify and on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. Sorry. Andy, anything else?
I'm just excited for the season. Thank you for listening.
We're going to be on here twice a week.
Come back and join us.